Ati for your makwa papa Likee TV no message and no channel so no hit do ma no subscribe. Say drop the latest news content obeje brand when you be atie. Ya bora in simnima ne the latest news yes e twego no eye mobekaya Justice Pamai Gebra Judge Nina Otna or High Court na obo NDC wenti NDC for asem na pen ho asem ekowuli ne ntem de ma yisi ni se onkoye recollection no atiefo ne akwa no ho ache ne papa ha NDC ni mpanimfo na strike papa ne pa chem ebi mu krechem se na hwan kra na appoint na se judge ebiem so mu chem se ase papa ni nim de no ene kwan ofaso ye ne niema ase adedi a partisan the Supreme Court no expose papa ne papa Supreme Court no expose judge ni papa just say oye partisan judge papa ni MPP ni mapa MPP ni mapa na me pese ye borom na yetie ensem ni bi because ensem ni modu yes imodu ye ba de ka ho no ye de emunsem bebremo.
I won't talk about the law, but I want to talk about the conduct of the High Court judge. Okay, the conduct of the High Court judge. I'm wondering when he was appointed, who appointed him. I mean, some of the issues that I had been discussed at the Supreme Court. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I kept wondering that about how can a judge behave like this? Why won't you give people the fair hearing? And then why will you want to have your judgment overturned in this manner? Why would you want the Supreme Court to direct you or to let you to expose a certain incompetence, on your part? And I think that that judge, if he did this purely for partisan reasons, then he should bow down his head in shame, because if the matter is about also the NDC and they want to join, they want to show you evidence, they want to show you proofs, they want to make claims and also provide justifications for why they think certain things, why they think the way they think, and you prevented them, then you are setting up yourself for the kind of things, this particular thing that has happened. And I'm sure that tomorrow, if he sits and do an introspection, he would realize that he goofed terribly. And I would appeal to judges that regardless of whoever appointed you, when you are confronted with issues like this, you just look at your own practices and then law, and then interpret and give judgments in a manner that ensures that people would not run to the apex court just for the purposes of ridiculing and setting aside a judgment that you may have given. And the other issue I want to look at again is also about the conduct of the EC officials at the collation centers.
Right.
I thought that they were supposed to be just arbiters trying to bring people together, just doing their work. But I saw the banter, and then the firm is saying the EC official was insisting that some falsified pink sheet should be added at all costs, and it led to unnecessary banter. And I was just looking at the body language of that particular EC banter, EC official. What was the name? I thought that the body language, the comportment, and the way he was bantering was not supposed to be the character and the attitude of an independent arbiter. He clearly looked like somebody who had taken a certain position or a certain stance. But you cannot be an EC official if you go into such arrangement and show clearly that per your utterances and your conduct and body language, you are already biased. I mean, it does not augur well for acceptability of whatever outcome the electoral processes could be. And so we should begin to look and rethink the caliber of people we appoint as EC officials, okay? I'm not even looking at. I mean, I know people have issues with those at the top echelons, of the commission, but below them, we should also be thinking about the caliber of people we recruit there. So if you go to Nigeria, when Professor Jega was their chair of their interim of the Electoral Commission, he looked at a certain caliber of people that he sought to work with. Okay, and these were people whose integrity, people whose firmness and fairness could not be questioned. But it appears that when it comes to us, anybody, I went to my hometown to go and vote, and then I was looking for a nephew's wife to leave something with. I said, "Oh, me, Juma, how?" And then I just questioned myself, but how can this lady be working, at that place? Because I knew of her. I mean, per my own judgment, I didn't think she had what it takes to do the kind of work that she claimed she was being asked to do. And so, if you have such people there working, at the EC, and when things are heated like this, they clearly make utterances and they go about their comportment in a manner that gives them, out as people who are already biased, then it becomes a bit problematic. So let us, as a people, rethink the caliber of people we appoint to staff the election management body. So it should be a total review of especially also about their temporary staff. Okay, the temporary staff that they recruit. You have people, all manner of people recruited, and you wonder whether they were clearly, they were seriously trained, and they clearly had what, they clearly have what it takes to function as temporary staff of the commission. It doesn't help. Maybe the last take on this particular matter is about, I've shown my admiration for Justice Gabriel for the way and manner. And then, the entire bench yesterday, the way and manner they went about things. And somebody told me that, look, if it had been another judge, things would have been different. Because in our jurisprudence, you can always find a law to back whatever useless decision you take. Okay, so it could have been different. And I think I admire his courage and the way and manner they went about things. And then also, the way and manner they handled this allegation of bias on the part of the High Court judge. Another judge would have arrogantly dismissed that allegation of bias. But he said that, collective fine. So other judges or another judge sitting or chairing would have arrogantly dismissed that allegation of bias. But he said that, tomorrow when the matter comes, you would not even be required to sit on that particular matter. I thought it was a clever way of ensuring that the matter is heard in a manner that ensures that the outcome is accepted by all parties. But the other thing is that maybe gleaning from what you guys are saying, and especially my senior and the peer could be what he just said, maybe the bench could have gone ahead to make things a bit clearer. That even though we've said this, make sure that A, B, C, D are also done. And you are saying that if you are a father and your child comes to you to ask of A, you give him A. But me, as a proactive father, if I give A and I believe that A would definitely require B, I'll give you B and C.
No, there is also the legal position that the Supreme Court will not give a declaration in a vacuum.
Well, but the point is that, as you rightly said,
if you're before your father and you are there empty hands, you see, so you must ask for. And in fact...
Yeah, but so they ask for one.
Listen, I always refer you to the Bible. It says, seek and that shall be given.
Well...
So if you don't seek...
Well, but there are times you ask God for one thing and he gives you other things. Okay, so my point is that...
God himself tells you, seek.
Oh, you see, so but now, as you rightly indicated, even though people can infer, there are people who may also want to be mischievous. And they would want to...
Are we all not mischievous?
Well, not all of us. They may want to say that, because there were no direct orders for XYZ to happen. They may want to interpret things there. So if it is possible, let them go, lawyers go back to court to seek clarity on some of these things so that I do not see how the Electoral Commission will continue or to maintain the gazette that had already been issued. I don't see how they will continue to and I don't see how, in spite of the ruling, those who have been gazetted and whose election decision have been quashed, I don't see how they will go to court, go to Parliament and say we are still registered. I mean, that will be contemptuous of the Supreme Court. But I admit that even though I'm commending Gabriel Puaman and his team, I think they could have been clearer so that we would avoid this kind of confusion in which we find ourselves. But I insist that we must rethink the caliber of people we appoint and
advise your students that seek, and that shall be given.
We must rethink the caliber of people. You know, Afarijan has always been saying this. You see, the last time I listened to Afarijan, he was not even people bother so much about how our EC officials are appointed. Afarijan said it's not even about how they are appointed because everybody would have to be appointed by somebody. Yes. Appointees will not come from the moon. But he's talking about how the person is able to conduct himself or herself. Your courage, your confidence, and your ability to want to hold on to your own.
That's the case of Salah versus Attorney General. He said it is not the appointment. And we are Ghanaians, and we are in the closed-circuit community. Yes. So if you want to see who is here or there, you won't appoint anybody.
Yes. Yes. So it's about how the person conducts himself, and that is for me critical. How I saw the bantering between you and that issue.
So that's why the court said they moved the standard from likelihood of bias to real likelihood of bias. Yeah, it must be real.
It is not appropriate. So the EC heads must begin to also talk to their EC heads should begin to talk to the people they appoint to work at some of these coalition centers, so that per their conduct and their comportment and their utterances, they would not give themselves out so easily as having taken a session. You know, already there is this belief that the NDC was going to have a two-thirds majority, and so then some people have been contracted to put some small sand in their garage so that
allegation.
And so you don't have to do things.
1 million of them will not
you don't have to do things. You don't have to do
1 million of such allegations.
But you don't have to do things in a manner that fester that kind of perception, allegation and perception. You don't have to do that.
And in fact, that leads into the next question, Prof. That point you just made. And I want you to still stay on it, because there's been that contention that could the Electoral Commission have acted differently because of the same perception, or in some cases, the reality of the outcomes of their actions that has impacted on how people perceive the neutrality and independence of the Commission itself. We have seen over the period the posture and conduct of some members of the Commission that has raised concern. And now this particular decision that even though they acted on a court order, we're seeing how things are playing out. Does that concern you?
Well, I'm worried. I think that first, I don't know whether an emergency IPAC meeting was convened prior to the decision.
There was supposed to be an IPAC meeting yesterday.
It was called and called off.
It was called and called off.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that, you see,
but one was being held yesterday.
Yes. So given the brouhaha, I think the EC could have quickly summoned an IPAC meeting, to discuss some of these things. Even proud to...
No, Prof. This matter has become very political. Because you see, we got declarations made in our favor, NDC. MPP says they disagree. Then they commandeer, for instance, Fantiakwa North. Declarations made in Begro to be brought to Tesano and declared. Yes.
But was that supposed to be the case?
No.
Okay, so
hold on. Not pursuant to any court order. Not pursuant to any laid down law. So now they are relying on the Tesano declaration. NDC is relying on the Fantiakwa non-declaration. How will IPAC resolve this?
No,
you understand?
This is going beyond IPAC.
Yeah, so
The rightful forum should be in the court.
Exactly. So it has to be a court of law, like the Constitution says.
What I don't like personally is the discussions of the content, even before the court.
You mean the merits?
The merits.
The merits of the matter. Yes.
You see, Ghana is the only place we have. Personally,
can only take a court.
losing
IPAC
election will not bring your life to zero.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, so let us agree that we will
Hey, some people is bread and butter for them.
but
You're a lawyer.
Yes, please. Let
Because you
Professor
see, as soon as the last Saturday declaration were made at Reach, the NDC, we issued a statement and said, we disregard all that. So the issue has become political. So IPAC can't resolve it. These are not electoral
political, then IPAC could resolve, but
no.
it can't judicial.
But will you agree, you and your people, will you agree that the second declarations didn't favor you?
We are already
so disengaged.
But
you understand? So you are the NDC won't
The
agree.
reason why I was calling for a swift IPAC meeting is that, you see, it could have set a certain tone or stage for the comportment of the EC officials at the various coalition centers. You see, the way they behaved, it showed that
Prof,
they are taking.
Prof, you'll be shocked.
Please.
EC officials.
No,
Okay.
No, so the way they behaved suggested to me that they had taken a certain stance, and they were there to execute that stance.
Some bidding.
And I felt that, look, if they had been
Medamasi Samoje Bre wa Daily Update TV ne so.